allergies. Sorry. Where's my clip? Oh, there's my clip. Oh, oh. Do you have claustrophobia? I have claustrophobia. Oh, I have wicked claustrophobia. Like, just the thought of being trapped in an elevator, well, that triggers a full-on panic freak-out. You know how you have that, you know how you have that one person in every family that, like, they just won't get in an elevator or, like, even the back seat of a car? Well, now you know why. Claustrophobia is it's not good. Elevators? No, sir. No, sir. No, sir. Thank you very much. No. I'd rather do anything to get in an elevator. Okay? Just thinking about it. Like I don't care how many flights of stairs there are. Okay? I would much rather do anything to get in an elevator. Like I would it's just the thought of being trapped in that tiny little. Not doing it. No. I'd rather wake up tomorrow morning and find out I work for Activision in upper management. I'm not getting in the box, okay? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to yell at you. I'm just trying to... Huh? Oh, sorry. So, if you, like me, suffer from claustrophobia, don't worry about it, because you're in good company. With like a billion people the world over, just getting like the heebie-jeebies just thinking about it. This is clearly a problem in need of a solution. Well, across the pond in Europe, at the EIFF, there's like a big brain, big peepee PhD student. And they claim that they can cure anybody of their claustrophobia. They have like a shock treatment approach, which is the best way that I can describe it. That's the good news. The bad news is it looks something like this. Yeah, I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. I'm not doing that. I'm out. Greetings, friends of science. Dr. Eugene Felsnick here. Thanks to a grant from my employer, Darrow Chemicals, where I serve as the lead chemist and head of the research and development department, which is probably why they decided to pony up the greenbacks for this little thing we got going on here. You see, kids, ever since I was little, I always wanted to be a scientist. I always wanted to have a badge like this. I always wanted to be a scientist, and like those guys I saw on TV when I was a kid, like Bill Nye. Bill Nye, your science guy. Bill. Or Mr. Wizard. Oh, Mr. Wizard. That guy completely blew my mind, you know. So I studied hard, and I got my degree in chemistry, and and I started working for Darrow right away. So thank you, Mr. Udesky. Well, then now I have the opportunity to pass on my knowledge, like those guys. That's good. I mean, I'm not trying to say that I'm better. I'm better than them, or that my show is better. It's good. Good. I'm good. I'm not. I'm a good scientist. I'm not Mr. Wizard or, anything like that, but I'm good. Boy, this thing's really coming off the rails here, isn't it?
A few moments later.
So, this being our very first episode, I just wanted to say thanks so much for clicking on the video, and that's just so awesome that you did that. I really appreciate it. Thank you. And I promise it'll be way worth it. It'll be way worth it. By the time you get to the end of this, you'll be all like, wow, I am so glad I clicked on that video. It was so totally worth it. I learned a lot. And that Dr. Gene guy, he was every bit as good as Mr. Wizard or the Bill Nye guy that Dream hired. In fact, I like it so much, I'm going to click the little like thingy and the little red subscribe thingy. I don't know why I keep doing it. And the bell. I keep doing it. So that, so I can be one of the very first subscribers, which, as you know, makes you just a little, I keep doing it, just a little bit better than, those filthy, casual non-subscribers.
Later.
I'm proud, yes, proud, you'll say, to help this channel grow into something wonderful and powerful until its reach is felt far beyond the confines of this insignificant platform. Yes, I, Dr. Eugene Felsnick, shall be the goat of all goats, terrible as the dawn.
Treacherous as the sea, stronger than the foundations of the earth. All sorrow of me and despair.
Sorry, I got a little carried away. So, a colleague of mine in the field of psychiatry, currently teaching in Europe at the European Institute for Irrational Fears. What? It's a real thing. Anyway, they have a PhD student who they say can cure anybody of their claustrophobia in just 3 hours. Ugh, claustrophobia. I don't even like that word. Do you like that word? You like that word? I don't even like that word. As soon as I hear it, I'm instantly transported back to my childhood. These memories of dark, musty, confined spaces, the smell of cedar, the music box, that nursery rhyme. See, kids, when Dr. Gene was a little scientist, about like 6 or 7, my older brother Roger, he tricked me down in the basement and he'd stuff me in Grandpa's old cedar chest. Rotten pest. Mom was upstairs, so, every once in a while she'd, shout down, like, Roger, you and Gene playing nice? And he'd always say, yes, Mom. And he was not playing nice. Oh, and while I'm screaming my head off for him to let me out, he just wind up this creepy little music box he got out of the attic. I wasn't allowed to come out until it was over. Oh, God, I can still hear that song in my... You don't need to know any of that stuff. What are we talking about? Oh, the cure. Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, I've read through all of this, kids, and let me tell you, it's out there, okay? It's like way out there. This is like I would it's just this is like yeah.
12 seconds later.
Trust me when I say, okay, trust Dr. Gene. Trust me when I say, do not try this at home. Do not try this at home. Do not try it at home, or at school, or at the mall, or at Uncle Dave's campsite between the fishing and the fried cod, okay? Nowhere. Go. 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 Now, before beginning treatment, you'd normally want to create a safe environment for the patient, like a real-world happy place, so that they can see that everything is fine and there's absolutely nothing to worry about. Because the more relaxed the patient is, the more receptive they are to treatment, right? Yeah, well, with this one, you're going to feel about as relaxed as that guy in Florida who stuck her in a hornet's nest, okay? On a dare. Florida. Why? Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Why would anybody do that? Oh. Sorry.
Moments later.
You see, we first begin by placing the patient in a small open field at night next to a moldy earth-covered casket, which is placed next to a freshly dug grave. Yeah, I told you this one was out there. If the patient should inquire as to whom is in the coffin, and they will, you can reassure them that it is in fact empty. It's at that point that you can also inform them that the recently deceased paranoid schizophrenic senior citizen should be around here somewhere. If you should notice that the patient is trying desperately to keep their eyes closed, well, you tape them. You tape them open and you tape them good. This is vital, vital. Now don't go crazy in using something like glue or staples or surgical sutures or something like that. I mean, we don't want to cause physical injury on our way to psychological healing, right? I mean, duh. So tape only. Very important, tape. Next, you'll want to direct the patient's gaze towards the musty earth-covered casket. In a deep and menacing voice, you'll want to repeat the phrase, "You're going in the box. You're going in the box. Oh, you're going in the box." Okay, next you'll need to enlist the help of at least 5 properly trained medical personnel to flank the patient from all sides. This way they understand that escape is quite impossible. Okay? These individuals should be well trained. However, should the necessary personnel be unavailable, appropriate qualified substitutes such as department store security, your big brother and his jock buddies, dishonored rogue police officers, or members of the TSA, they'll do in a pinch. Okay? Next, you'll want to have your assistants slowly surround the patient before forcibly restraining them. Now, as many people have a difficult time accepting treatment of this type, you might find the patient screaming or struggling, maybe a little biting going on, calling out for God or their mommy, all of this in an attempt to escape. Okay, this is normal. Okay, it's perfectly normal. So expect it. In an attempt to keep the patient focused, simply hover over them, face to face, maintaining good solid eye contact at a distance of no more than 2 to 3 inches. And do not blink. Okay? All the while repeating the phrase,
You're going in the box.
Okay, next you'll want to wrap the patient tightly in high-density plastic wrap. This is much like the common cellophane wrap that you find in the average household kitchen or grocery store, or perhaps a trunk of that suspicious-looking vehicle up the street. Now be sure to pull the plastic wrap tight, really tight, like with all your strength, almost to the point of cutting off circulation. Next, we'll need a heat gun in order to raise the temperature of the plastic wrap and cause the transparent polyethylene to soften, allowing it to easily increase its anaconda-like grip on the claustrophobic patient tenfold. Once the heat source is removed, the plastic cocoon will begin to cool and harden at an alarming speed. Now, as the patient finds themselves completely immobilized, unable to move or close their eyes, we can now move on to the final step of the treatment. This final phase, called Vivi de Missi, which is Latin for Texas funeral, represents the most difficult portion of the treatment. At this point, the patient's body, which is wrapped up like sort of a living Egyptian mummy, is lifted gently off of the cold, wet, damp ground on which it has been resting, bound and helpless. Now, as one might expect, at this point in the treatment, the patient might be experiencing certain side effects, everything from mild physical exhaustion to full-blown insanity. This will no doubt come to a head as you and your team carry the patient over to the empty casket. Now be sure to keep the patient fully informed as to what's happening by repeating the phrase, "You're going in the box." Now lift their body just above the stinking, rancid casket and then gently, gently place them inside. As you do so, you may notice the patient's eyes becoming somewhat fixed and dilated. They may even lose consciousness. Okay, this is normal. Okay? So don't worry about it. Finally, after ensuring that the oxygen supply, being fed into the box is fully operational, you don't want to screw that up, then simply seal the lid of the casket and place the coffin deep within the cold, wet earth. Be sure to allow for three full hours before pulling them out of their fresh grave. Now, during this time, you, the therapist, not me because I'm not doing, have an obligation to ignore any and all screams or pleas for help. Remember, it's just the illness talking, so don't listen. I mean, you wouldn't want to fail the patient who's come so far, right at the finish line, would you? Would you? Be patient, be patient. And in just a few short hours, after releasing the patient from this most ingenious treatment chamber, why, you'll be the first to witness a life transformed before your very eyes. Like the butterfly emerging from the chrysalis, your patient is born anew, free from the terrors of this thing that we call claustrophobia, which plagues them no more. Boy, that would be something to see, wouldn't it? Boy. I mean, if they don't go, if they might, because I would. Oof.
They're going underneath the ground tonight.
So that's a Texas funeral.
Almost pooped my pants just thinking about it, but they probably won't. But I mean, they know what they're getting into. They sign papers, and this is they're fully aware of everything. So I'm sure it'll be okay. We're done. Well, we're done. Okay. So thanks very much for dropping by for our very first video, guys. It's our very first video. Oh, don't forget to click the likey thing and the red thingy and the bell and all that stuff. It really means a lot to me and Andrew, and we really appreciate it and everything. And I'm so glad you came by to check this out. I promise next week it'll be less terrifying. Anyway, thanks again, and remember, science isn't just cool. It's super cool. Love you guys. We'll see you next week. Bye.